President Marilyn Monroe.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Classic, Dean. Classic. Love it.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. That's from Marilyn Monroe from the grave. She sent that. And we also have one of our viewers who is you met and big fan of yours too. She sent a video just for you, Jim. And here she is now, Davida.
Did we get the sound?
She's well, she said, happy birthday, Jim. That it's one of those things that she wants you to get into the reed lipping artistry, Jim. It's one of her professions. Nice. So she sent that too. So we have that. And then we have did you hear something? I think someone's here. JSPOP.
Hey.
What a surprise.
Hello. Wow. Hello.
Wow.
It's great to see you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'll tell you, I was earlier last month, we were plotting showing up for your birthday. We wanted to see you in person. And you know what happens when you plot and you plan? The next thing that happens is everything just goes crazy. And that's what happened here. But I want to tell you, happy birthday. And I've been following you for so long, I couldn't even calculate the years. Also, credit you with introducing me to Dean Ryan, because the first time I saw Dean was because I searched Jim Fetzer, and I found a show in its infancy with you and Dean on it. So, thank you, sir. Viva la Fetz, and many more.
Viva la Fetz. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
Viva la Fetz.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Viva la Fetz. And Jim, you don't even know what I had to do, not to get JSPOP here, but he really wanted to pop out of a cake. That was the problem. Not this weekend.
That's more Maryland style.
That's what I told him. He doesn't seem to understand that. I mean, but anyways.
But Jim, for your birthday, I would not have popped out alone. The appropriate cake popper.
What a gem. A lot of viewers have been watching for a long time. Here's some more people. Yeah, Mr. Watlin's here. He's saying happy birthday to you, Jim. Yes, so a lot of people. Now, Jim, we talked about a lot of things, and my other surprise should be here any second.
I think with JSPOP, he may be talking that I was a columnist at Veterans Today. It may have been on those occasions or others. I mean, I've been publishing a lot in a lot of places.
A lot of people don't know is Jim Fetzer is kind of from my neck of the woods. He's from Pasadena. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I was born in Pasadena. Yeah.
There's a whole story that that goes with it, and you know, it really goes as you wrote. You know, these people keep knocking on the door. Hold on, Jen. I'm so sorry. Let me go open the door real quick.
I saw that it was a happy birthday deal, so I was like, "Oh, I have to tell Jim Fetzer happy birthday." I do want to say this. So everything behind you, Jim, I want to dig through all those files. I want to dig through all those files.
Wonderful.
Happy birthday to you.
There's a lot there.
I know.
That would be a hefty task.
I've got 2,000 or 3,000, but I had 10 or 12 up at my office. Up at my office in Duluth, and when I moved down here to Madison, I had to give away 90% of my book.
Happy birthday, Jim.
John McBride said they're all Playboys. Jim, do you have any classical Playboy magazines in your library? Because if that's the case, JSPOP and I will be there tomorrow digging through all the rabbit holes. Jim,
I actually preferred Penthouse. I used to have a couple hundred issues of Penthouse around, but I pounded with 80 or 90% of them.
I just wanted to say happy birthday, Jim.
Thanks, Davida. I appreciate that greatly. I'm glad you were here.
There you go. All right, Davida. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Good
Thanks,
night.
Davida.
Oh my, Jim! I'm telling you. I mean, there must be a sign in front of my again. Told the UPS guy that this is not funny. All right, Jim, hold on. I'll be right back. We have another guest. Well, what do you know? It's Michael Decon and Jim Fetzer.
Jim, where are you? You out there?
Right at home. Enjoying
to
this.
see you in real time, Jim. It's always an honor and pleasure to talk to you whenever I can. Of course, happy birthday. You are like a grandfather to me. You're like an adopted grandfather to me. So, I wish you a happy birthday. And I'm so happy to see you and hear you in real time.
Excellent, Michael. Excellent. Our last show was really popular. I put it up on my BitChute channel too, and a very enthusiastic response. I enjoy so much our conversations.
Michael Decon, it is
Yes,
a pleasure to finally have you on here.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
What a better occasion. And, JSPOP's here and he's ice fishing in his garage.
All right.
What is your fondest memory of Jim Fetzer?
My initial sort of meeting and introduction to Jim was actually when he was on Fox News, of all places, with Bill O'Reilly. And that was an insane interview. I've never heard of Jim before. And right there, lo and behold, there's Jim, a legend in my eyes. I had no idea this man would come on TV and sort of give it back to Bill O'Reilly. It was astonishing to me. I thought, wow, Bill O'Reilly has finally met his match.
Bill O'Reilly's a nasty piece of work. I was sitting in the room with a bright light when he comes on and says, "I'm going to tell a country you're a nut and you hate the nation," and boom, I'm on TV, and then he's assaulting me again and again. And
It was a hit piece.
But I did my best to get a few words in edgewise.
Right.
And when it was over, I had mixed feelings because it was so obvious he was doing a hatchet job.
Oh.
I was in New York a year or so later. I'd spoken at Cooper Union, the great hall where Abraham Lincoln gave one of his addresses about 9/11. And my wife and I and a friend went over to a nearby theater where Alex Jones was having an event. And they just rolled out the red carpet for me. And they had me sit up on a platform with first responders. And I was sitting down. The fellow next to me leaned over and said, "It was seeing you on Bill O'Reilly that convinced me it had been an inside job." But then it was worthwhile. It was worth going through the happy horse shit with Bill O'Reilly.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was watching that show with my father, and, my dad is like a hardcore conservative. He still watches Fox News to this very day. But he was someone that would spar with me over 9/11. He would so wholeheartedly believe the official narrative. He was so blind. He would believe anything they say on Fox News. If Hannity or Bill O'Reilly didn't, say it first, then he wouldn't really believe it. But now since COVID hit, he sort of has awoken, and now he questions the official 9/11 narrative. And
Interesting.
Finally, my God.
Interesting.
So
Wow.
how did he react to my being on with O'Reilly? Then he thought I was getting my just desserts.
Well, here's the thing, though, Jim. At first, like many Americans out there, they believe the official narrative so wholeheartedly that if anytime you would question the official narrative, like months or maybe even a year or two after 9/11, it was like you're basically a treasonous piece of shit.
Right.
That's how
Yeah.
everyone sort of took it at that time, though.
Mhm.
Nobody wanted to question it at all. And if you did, you were just like the scumbag,
Right.
POS, nobody wanted anything to do with you. That's how hard the brainwashing was. That's how hard the manipulation was.
You were just ahead of your time, Jim Fetzer.
Well, it's very interesting, Dean, because, it was wanting to have me on as a foil. Previously, Sean had me on. Previously, I'd been on with Ollie North, who was substituting for Sean. And I was able to take control, especially with Ollie North, and then pretty much with Hannity. But O'Reilly was just trying to beat me up like with a baseball bat. And it was very, very testing, of my patience to deal with this. But it seems to have worked. I mean, I looking back, I think it was a success in spite of all of his effort to demonize me.
It's so interesting. So, Michael, you got introduced to Jim on Fox News all the way back
Right.
then. That was probably
Yes.
2006. And so now, how did you, get acquainted? How did that come about? I'm just curious.
Well, I had heard of Jim, through Fox News and all that back in the day. But it wasn't until right after 2012 when I really tried to find Jim. And I noticed he was on all kinds of shows. And I thought, I need to bring this guy on my show. He's actually someone that is really hitting home with what he's been talking about for so long. And it wasn't until way later, though, that I finally had the opportunity to bring Jim on the program. And I emailed him, and, he was so nice to be on the show, especially with me. I didn't really have too big of a following, but
Yeah.
I do credit Jim for being on the show as many times as he has rather. And, he's brought in so many different people. And, my show wouldn't be as popular as it has been without Jim, to be honest.
Well, you're a wonderful host, Michael. You just have a marvelous manner, and I've enjoyed every show we've done, and I look forward to many more.
Hey, Jim, how old are you? 82 years old. I've never heard another
Today.
man with so
Yeah.
much strength and energy as you. You rival many 20-year-olds. You have more energy than Hunter Biden smoking crack.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's up there.
Jim,
I want that energy when I'm your age, is what I'm trying to say, Jim.
Terrific.
I
Yeah, thank you,
I
Michael.
respect you wholeheartedly. I love you like anyone else in this world, except a little bit more.
we all
I'm
do.
good.
And
We all
you
love
know
you.
what, Michael? I have to add, because Jim's so humble. He's so
He
humble.
really is. He really is.
He's so humble, but you said something and you hit it on the head. And I want to just share what you said, because it's actually bigger than we might think. It's not necessarily what information and research that he brings to the table, which is great, second to none, but it's the spirit and the liveliness and his network too. Jim introduced me to you, where I did that first show with you in 2020.
That's
and
true.
we've had, now we're friends in real life, and one of my few industry
we hung
friends.
out in real life. I don't think a lot of people know that, but me and Dean actually hung out in real time, and we
I just saw you a few days ago.
Yeah, just a few days ago we hung out, and it was a great time, and we talked about Jim and
we did
the issues of the world.
And it's what Jim, Jim's much more inspirational than he gives credit. And, I should just write his biography, but what Jim taught me, and I've sent it to him before, is he taught me the work ethic of doing this in this great time of challenge, but also to stand in your conviction come hell or high water, no matter the peer pressure. And prior to this, that was something I always teetered with, I still am trying to make the industry with a film or something of that nature. But working with Jim and this enterprise here, it's been life-changing, and I'm forever grateful to Jim Fetzer for that.
That's just wonderful to hear. You have no idea how welcome that is to these ears. And I'm just going to do as much as I can, as long as I can. I mean, that's what we're here for. It had to do with a combination of having an excellent education as an undergraduate, serving in the Marine Corps, reinforcing the discipline, and good genes. It turns out the word Fetzer in German means shredding machine.
What an appropriate term.
That makes sense because, Jim, that makes sense because I've always thought of you as one of the fiercest Marines who has ever come out of the service, let alone out of California.
Oh, wonderful. Jazz, you have no idea how much I appreciate that. Enormous.
Any kind of last birthday well wishes you want to give the great Shredder of Germany?
Well, I
Michael
just
Decon?
wanted to quickly say, I respect Jim so much. He's always been a great person on and off the air, and someone that's genuine. He's actually in the fight, and he has been in the fight for such a long time. And, I respect him as a friend and a guest of the program. He's always kept this program alive. Lots of folks out there love Jim so much as I do. And, we wish Jim a long and healthy life into the future. And I know Jim will actually stay alive for another 100 years. He's not human. He's out of this world. We need to sort of study his brain and DNA after he's long and gone. And
well,
Jim,
Michael, I'm so looking forward to returning to your show in
yes,
the very near.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for having me on here on this platform.
Delighted you were here, Michael.
Yes, sir,
yes,
definitely.
and Michael, I think I speak for JSPOP and Jim and the whole audience. We got to have you back more often.
I'll be here when you need me, guys.
Yes, we'll have to have you back more often, and maybe do a one big symposium, all of us together on a kind of an episode of sorts. But and Michael, thanks for calling in and this just very fantastic night.
No problem.
All right,
no problem. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
We'll talk soon.
Jazz Pop, I have to go to you as you are my Vanna White this evening. Are we surprised that people are coming out of the woodworks to celebrate Jim's birthday here? Are you surprised at all, Jazz Pop?
I have been in such a whirlwind that I realized earlier that today was the day I wanted to be in Wisconsin. I thought, oh my God, I can't believe it went by this fast.
And finally, Belinda says, I love Jim because he speaks truth and doesn't back down from it. He's very bowed in his beliefs. What a way to send it off. Jim, so there we have it.
Well, it's all exactly true, Dean. I mean, I've done further research, and everything I was reporting then is spot on. And they've done their best to conceal it. I mean, he appears to have been the same party who was with Paul Pelosi when he was pulled over for DUI. There was another party with him, never identified. The neighbor said he had the habit of going to bars and bringing home young men for gay sex. Surrounded by closed-circuit television, there's no way anyone could have broken in, and nobody did. Would you believe the DA of San Francisco said,
there's no evidence that they knew each other?
When the initial call-in said his name is David and he's Brett. This is how corrupt is the police under the influence of Democrats. They will lie about anything. You can buy the hammer on Amazon.com for about $95. It's a dildo shaped like a hammer. Check it out. I got images of it on my own report.
No, I believe you, Jim. I mean, no, it's just the facts, and I'm glad that Well, who was asking about that? Final thoughts, Jim Fetzer.
Well, we're being played constantly. The government has played us from beginning to end like a fiddle. It's embarrassing. It's bad. The media has been complicit. Remember, we don't have an independent media in the United States. The Rothschilds own the AP. The Rothschilds own Reuters. The Rothschilds own Reuters. I have a panel of 100 executives from CNN. I have a panel of 100 executives from NBC. I have a panel of 100 executives from the New York Times. Everyone is a dual U.S. Israeli citizen. The censorship has been suffocating, and I say, thank God we now have a guy who's willing to shell out twice as much as it was worth to take control of a platform and can turn into the Commons a real bastion for freedom of speech. And while I agree, Elon Musk may have other defects, but in the case of Twitter, he's turning out to be a great champion of the First Amendment, really doing something good for America.
So many emotions here tonight as we are celebrating our colleague here. Jim, thanks for celebrating with us your birthday, and I'm sure there's plenty of house parties you could have gone tonight. And the Real Deal Media's members really thank you for being a part of this experience and coming back. And the whole year, it's just been incredible. And so once again, happy birthday to you, Jim Fetzer, and we look forward to many more birthdays and many more epic, incredible, fantastic shows to make together. On that note, for just Jazz Pop, for Michael Decon, and what a guest he was, first timer, and for the great Jim Fetzer, I'm Dean Ryan saying to all the members, thanks for hanging out and celebrating a wonderful occasion. I will see everybody very soon. Until the next time, always remember, stay tuned and stay awake. Good night, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Raindrops keep falling on my head. And just like the guy who's here too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Oh, raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues may stand and keep me, won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Got it.
That actually was better than the original.
I don't know.